This is Speaking of Sports, a weekly podcast where we give you our take on sports' biggest stories and news. I'm your host, Ray Scipione, along with Coach Al Harris, Chad the Whiz Kid Grimley, and the Godfather, Chuck Grimley. Speaking of Sports is sponsored by Grimley Financial and produced by WildfirePodcast.com. The boys are back. Yes, we are. We're all back as a group. I can't say live, but we are here in Grimley Financial Stadium. I'm back.
Welcome back.
From a brief depression, Ray Scipione, along with the Godfather, the Whiz Kid, and Coach. Yes.
Good model for this show. Let's just
yes.
let it rip and be
you know
candid.
what? Depressed, like our stats.
Yeah.
We're just gonna wing it. We're winging it today. We're gonna go crazy. You know what? We got to start off with the girls, and I'm going to tell you why. I think every one of us here truly enjoys female athletics, especially softball and basketball. And in lieu of ESPN's 30-30 about Title IX, and if you don't know about Title IX, you should look it up. It was signed when, Chad? By the Nixon administration?
Something around those times, yeah. And it was 50th anniversaries this year.
That's right, 50th anniversary, and it's 38 words. People, no person in the U.S. shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. And that means it's tit for tat. Whatever the boys get, the girls should get.
Did you learn to read like that in elementary school?
I did, actually. That was pretty good. That's my limits, 40 words.
Yeah, I know throughout June, ESPN has a bunch of stories on the Title IX history and all that stuff on there. So you're going to see some 30 for 30s on it. And I'm hearing it's really good stuff. I know it's also throughout June. I haven't seen any yet. But, I mean, from what I'm hearing, it's pretty good.
It's absolutely amazing to hear what the women had to do to get even pro tennis. You listen to Billie Jean King, and I mean, they played for peanuts. They paid for their own rooms, and meanwhile, the men, of course, were making millions. But we're going to start off this show with actually a program in our backyard that has done beyond amazing, incredible stuff. And we're going to go with our coach to start us off.
Some Bordy talk in Haddon Heights.
Well, there's a young lady named Sophia Bordy. She just got voted New Jersey Pitcher of the Year. She's from Haddon Heights High School, came from Merchantville. And I've seen her throw. She's well beyond her years. For the year, they had 4 losses, but people don't realize she was at a camp out west when they lost 3 games in the beginning of the year. I'll tell you how dominant she is. She had 301 strikeouts for the year, which come out to 2.3 per inning.
My God. What grade is she in?
She's a freshman.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Freshman.
Absolutely amazing.
And she's a hell of a hitter. She hit 3 home runs against Donovan Catholic, or one of those upstate. And the coach from Donovan Catholic said she's never seen anybody hit the ball that far. Yeah. So one of her games she hit, and then the next game they intentionally walked her all 4 times. So that's
unreal.
Now, in the state final, I saw that they threw a no-hitter with 20 strikeouts. I assume she was the one who pitched in that game.
Yeah.
yes.
Real?
Wow.
Yeah. So the state final game, she threw a no-hitter.
Yeah. 20 strikeouts.
Team ranked 2 in the country.
Are you? Oh,
okay.
My God.
So it's one thing to win the states. Like our local teams don't win state championships all that often.
Right.
Not to say they don't. But then the Tournament of Champions, that's where
all groups
we really
all
struggle.
Levels.
Okay, like Camden this year did not win the Tournament of Champions, right? They were second, I believe. That's another sort of hot topic if we have time.
So let's briefly explain. So in high school, you are when you play athletics, it's based on the number of students a school has, and then you have small group schools, Group 1 all the way to Group 5. So to see a Group 2 school, which is the second smallest classification of school in the state, go up against a school, and that's why they had the Tournament of Champions, because people always said, I wonder how the smallest school would compete against the biggest school, in competition. So they said, well, after all the state championships are crowned, let's have one giant, and it started with basketball because basketball could do that.
And a lot of coaches don't like the tournament champion for that reason.
Sure,
everybody
they get exposed.
Same
and this year is the last year of tournament champions in all the sports. So
really?
Is that budget related?
I don't know, but they just said this will be the last year.
I know a couple coaches in the TOC were quoted saying that I've never liked the TOC. I didn't have enough depth background in it to know why.
Well, it takes away, I'm sure, from the travel scene. It
or
takes away.
Why end? It's state champ. Why end with a loss?
Sure,
right?
Absolutely.
And
why get upset by? I don't mean to cut you off, but any given day, anybody could beat anyone. So now you're taking a team that's a Group 5 champion, and they just have one off day. And it happens to be during the Tournament of Champions, and they're seen as a loser.
But
like
when
you're
up against these North Jersey powers, in all the sports, it's rare that you see something. This is unprecedented.
Rare,
right
yes,
here.
very rare.
This is just crazy, wild for the school and for this.
You made a good point, Chuck. As far as you win your Group 1, all of a sudden you're playing the non-public A or B champion, and you're talking
Who's normally
about
ranked.
David,
ranked in the country.
David Goliath.
Yes.
That tells you how good this pitcher is. The one thing I didn't see, I read all the articles, but I didn't see anybody mention her top speed. Did you see 70?
No, I've never
She's
seen.
got to be near 70.
Has to.
Right?
Has to.
I haven't seen anybody with the guns out the few games I've seen.
Yeah, because
but I would say not only
mid-60s is going to get banged around a little
probably
bit, right?
68 to 70, but she's got
All
four
kinds of
pitches. She's got the great
there you go.
changeup.
And control command.
Rise ball, sure.
Yeah.
And she's well beyond her years as far as just her composure on the mound. And
Sure, she's probably starting kids off with, off.
And here's the unsung hero.
She does. She pitches ahead every at bat.
Unsung hero.
0-1.
They didn't have a catcher. They had a young lady they brought in that never caught before, a senior. And after her first few games, and this will hit big with Chuck and myself when we were involved with coaching at St. Joe's Club softball, and we had a real good pitcher.
An all-state pitcher.
And we didn't have a catcher. So there's nothing worse to see a batter either take a third strike or swing and miss a third strike and see the ball rolling to the backstop.
And Lexi's dad reminded me it was 19 dropped third strikes this season.
There you go.
He had a count of every one, and he would tell me about it. But
you got to love that.
This is just sensational. It's good for the area.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it's good for Haddon Heights. It's good for Bordy. It's good for her teammates. To follow her the next 3 years.
Well, is it safe to say? I'll be curious now, and I don't like to be, throw a damper on this, but could she be drawn away by that program in Florida that is probably recruiting her?
I'll tell you why.
Exactly.
You know what?
Number one, because that's where all the prodigies go, Chuck.
What we don't know in this podcast, and maybe we could have known, she looked it up, but her AAU team, she's got to be playing on a high-level gold elite. We had very competitive softball teams. We played in elite gold tournaments, not every weekend. This is a player who every weekend is traveling a great distance to play the best AAU travel teams and whatnot. So she's showcasing her. There's nobody in college softball not,
of course, they all know about her.
She plays for the PA Chaos 18U Gold Spina team.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a cutoff or if it's Gold Spina. That's the name.
Could you see if that's managed by the Nazareth Coach Cipollone by chance? So you see the coaches
I have to look it up.
of that team. It sounds familiar. I think that's Cipollone. But, just
like
to follow
said,
her for 3 years.
18 and under, and she's 15.
Yeah, right.
And I'll tell you how dedicated she is. Friend of mine's a substitute teacher at Haddon Heights. He said, and she gets in the weight room with the football players and does the squats and everything like that. Oh yeah.
Al, you said you saw her a couple times. I meant to get out to see her. Noticeably, right away, you could tell this is something you haven't seen. Yeah. Blazing fastball.
Yeah, like I said, but 4 different pitches which she could control.
Right.
And I'll tell you, they almost got beat the beginning of the year. Well, they had 4 losses, and then I said she out at
wasn't
a
there,
camp
yeah.
for like 3 of them. They were playing Collingswood, which is a lower echelon team. And Collingswood scores 2 runs to go ahead in the 9th inning, 3-1. Heights come back and won it 4-3. Well, 9 innings is 27 strikeouts. She had 25.
Oh,
Okay, I got it. It's the 18U Gold, but their coach is Joe Spina.
Oh,
so when I
okay.
said Gold-Spina, that's what it was. It was just the coach name.
So she's on an 18U program.
Right.
Gold
At 15.
playing elite tournaments.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
you're gold, and people think right away you're playing the 10 best teams in the country. That's not true. We played in gold tournaments, and we were one of the 10 best. Although we won a lot of softball championships. But she's playing nothing but the most elite tournaments every weekend, where you're flying to Vegas, flying to California, and whatnot. And of course, like I said, everybody in the
every
country
coach
knows who she is by now. Probably knew about her, maybe in 7th grade.
So,
right?
which did you have something to add?
I was just going to say, and they only have 3 seniors, so they have a girl at
they're
shortstop,
back.
Maddie Clark, who's 2nd string All South Jersey, who's their other pitcher. So I'm curious to see in the next 3 years if she's throwing so much that they might let Maddie Clark be pitching against some of the weaker teams.
Maybe, but so we could have a 4-time state champion. And
It seems like no one's going to hit this girl for 4
No.
years.
I'm
She's
gonna take
pitching
that
that
bet.
well as a freshman. She's only going to get better.
I'm taking
So,
that bet today.
I
How
wonder-
many hits will she give up the next 3 years?
Yeah, that's
Sure.
the over-under. We're always
30?
talking about the fun over-under.
and you're right.
a good number.
How
It's a good
many
number.
home runs
10
will
a
she
year?
hit?
It's a good number. It's a good number.
You know, you worry about
don't
the
know.
offense, but
Yeah.
it seems like she
Right.
could hit her own,
Yeah.
score her own runs.
And you know what we haven't said yet? Wouldn't you love to have her dad call into the podcast with Doris?
Absolutely.
And just talk about her work ethic. You know, we didn't read that article. Her work ethic when she was younger in the lower 6th, 7th, 8th grade. You know, we all know very successful softball players. My one daughter was All-State. I know her work ethic. This kid put that to shame, probably. I mean, what she did on a daily, nightly basis in her sport, the love of it, the commitment, and she.
It looks like she topped. I see a picture of her on the extrainningssoftball.com holding a device that says 67 on it. So I'm assuming maybe she's hit 67 miles per hour if that's
As
what
a
that is.
freshman.
Good
Right.
research, Wiz.
So
good
that
research.
means her off-speed pitches must be
Yeah.
amazing.
Now,
Now,
let's-
how fast do you have to be like elite level college?
I know there's
6 and
college
7.
girls throwing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Okay.
girls that don't touch 70.
So she's there as a freshman.
I
Already.
saw
Right.
74 from the Tennessee.
74 is pretty much 98. I mean, that's the highest you usually see.
I think 74 converts to 103.
Is it 103?
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
So let's.
I always
and
say
this'll-
girls softball's the one thing, because everybody likes to compare the female and male sports, and if you're in a male sport, you could do the female sport. The girls, the better the elite fast pitch pitchers in girls softball, the mouthful, can strike out pros.
Oh yeah,
which is
there's
cool.
plenty of videos of
That's
those.
cool. you know what I
There
mean?
was. I saw a video
Yeah.
last week of a bunch of pro guys
Yeah.
trying to hit.
All right, here it
an
is.
elite softball player.
From a reaction time, if you're throwing 70, that equates to 101.2 in
How about
baseball.
How about that?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
so
amazing.
74.
So she's
gets
up
us
there.
right about
Even
103.
at 67.
Yeah,
she's-
74 is probably closer to 105 or 6 would be my guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the
105.
chart cuts off at 70, but 65 is the equivalent of 94. So if you said 75 would then be equivalent of maybe like 105 or
Well,
106.
You got your hands on that research, bud. Keep going, because I'd like you to show reaction time, the pro reaction time, and
That's how
softball
it's measured.
with the point, whatever it is to
It's a
react.
tenth,
to
2/10 of a
Right, well, that's
second.
how it's done. Like 70 miles per hour, it's the same as 101 in baseball because the reaction time is
got it. I'm with you.
0.36 seconds in both.
Oh, there you
but,
go.
But what that fraction is, so when a 70-mile-per-hour softball pitcher releases the ball from that mound distance, the batter has, 0.25 whatever of a second to react, and yet the girls hit it.
I know.
They
It's
hit
amazing.
the stuff. I mean, that's what's remarkable. It's not like all the
is.
games are shutouts. They hit 70-mile-an-hour pitching.
And it's from 43 feet.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
the
my
other thing.
point. Yeah, I mean,
And the crazy thing people don't realize, because you see all these long home runs, Like they play on the equivalent of a 12-year-old little league field,
still
because it's 200 feet
and 60.
Yeah, and they're in stadiums, of course. But I wonder, and this will roll us into our next topic. I wonder if Patty Gasso is on this young pitcher yet. I'm sure she has to be.
Can't wait to hear this kid's college commitment.
I know,
Can't wait.
me neither.
And that decision's probably already made by now.
But listen, there's a lot of girls. You'll be surprised.
We got to get her dad.
Well, wait a minute. On. You'll be surprised. There's a lot of girls like this that want to stay local. They want to go to Villanova or somewhere like that because they just don't want to go far away from home.
Good point.
You know what I mean? And there's really nothing. I mean, there's the pro circuit for girls, and now it's funny. They actually have
per inning thing.
They have this new league. It's under
AUX
players' names.
Yeah.
And it's whoever defeats the other. I was watching it the other night. I couldn't get into it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I'm going to work on that because I pitched against her grandfather.
Really?
And there was 2 other Bordy brothers too. So, and George Bordy, he's been passed a lot of years back. But I will have a connection to try and go through the AD, Joe Cramp, to see if maybe I could speak to her father.
Even she could call in or something.
Make sure Joe Cramp stretches.
Yes, because we don't want him to get hurt. Anyway, there it is. So we're rolling into Oklahoma softball, my favorite girls softball team.
And we're not going to drop off one bit from greatness, right?
We're not. We're not. They had a big lefty a couple years back, and I can't believe I forgot her name, but ever since I saw her pitch, I mean, I was just addicted. The dominance. Now, this is their 6th national championship they won. They were 59-3, guys. 59-3 this year.
That competition, right?
Oh my God, that's the SEC, and they had the all-time home run leader of all time, and season-wise, and there was a girl years ago on the Olympic team.
All time of all time.
All time of all time. There was a girl on the Olympic team. Remember Busto? I think she was Hawaiian. Or
I don't.
She used to hit bombs. She was on the Olympic team. She was my all-time favorite hitter until I saw this girl. I mean,
Have we mentioned her name yet?
Last
Coach,
name is Alo.
Alo. She's from Hawaii.
Yeah. You want to see some
she's a legend in Hawaii.
Stats. Keep going.
Her father is this charismatic fan with his he's a giant of a man,
right.
And he's got his big Oklahoma jersey on, and they interviewed him all the time. His daughter's a legend, but as a team, Al.
Alo, she hit a batting average 515 this year.
Yes.
And 165 plate appearances. She had 85 hits, 13 doubles, 34 home runs.
34, that's what I thought.
85 RBIs.
Yeah, I mean,
on scale, that can't be true. Now we know it is.
Yeah,
on scale, when you look at the competition, that can't happen. That's the equivalent. In Major League Baseball, saying somebody just batted 480. Okay.
And by the way, her balls, I mean, the 2 I saw were every bit of 300 foot.
Yes.
So they're not, you can't say it was the field. I mean, she's a big girl.
Big gal.
Yeah.
No, I mean, not overweight by any means.
She had
just 34
a big girl. Home runs. That's insane.
Yeah. Did you read her OPS?
Listen.
Her OPS?
Yeah.
Chad.
1.8 OPS.
She had, I think, 20 or 5 or 30 her freshman year.
Wow.
Yeah.
She had over 100 her career.
And
here's
the best. I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, I saw ESPN did a little documentary on her. Patty, I think as a freshman or sophomore, threw her off the team. Was having a lot of problems with her. She was having a lot of issues, and Patty said, listen, I'm going to give you, I want you off the team until you're ready to make a commitment, and then you're welcome back. And she actually came back, and she speaks about it and how it saved her life, Chuck. I mean, it's amazing what these, that she could have just went away, and we would have never had this legend.
But now, the team what team has a 734 slugging percentage?
155 home runs.
So here's my question. Is this a good thing for softball? I mean, is it becoming a point where there's so many sports that it's not good for one team in sports to dominate. You have Alabama in football, which I guess has been a little maybe reduced the past couple years, maybe.
Okay.
But, I mean, for so long, what was it, Baylor and UConn or UCLA in women's basketball?
So
and here we have the softball Oklahoma 59-3. Is that good for the sport?
Connecticut.
Let me and I've had this argument many times.
And I'm not sure what the answer is. Like, I don't know.
It's got a lot to do with who they played this year. I want to see.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. It has a lot to do with this too. I'm going to give you an example. Texas A&M in baseball had an off year last year. Okay, didn't qualify for anything. They brought on a new coach, Jim Slosnagel, guy recruited me at Elon actually, and he got 8 players now. Pay attention. 8 players from the portal. So he remade this team 100% from the team a year ago. Now, I don't know if Patty, dipped into the portal, because I'm telling you, that's the unfair advantage. Okay, UConn does not get the best basketball players every year. And I'll repeat that. Many of them go to UConn and transfer out. Mm-hmm. There is a certain player that this guy looks for, okay?
And knows how to develop them into the stars.
Absolutely. They have to be UConn quality players. And it's not always the best player. I mean, I've seen, Gino Auriemma is my favorite coach of all time. I got to meet him 2 years ago, and I'm telling you, and I've gotten a lot of heated arguments about this guy. Oh, that's because they get the best players every year, and it's not true. He's got the best program, but nobody likes to admit that, because how could you be this dominant?
Right.
There must be a reason. When they were 84-0, 84-0, that's 3 years, 3 national championships. It's insane.
Nuts. Wow.
Patty Gasso is an incredible coach. Now, for years, the head coach at Arizona dominated the scene. He was the Olympic coach. He's since retired. And now Patty is, that coach right now. But, I think it is good for the game, because you know what? Winning is good. We punish winners. And it's especially in today's world, it's almost, if you're successful, you get punished. You know what I mean? You should be, mediocre.
As far as them playing everybody, they played UCLA. Okay, about their
of course,
15-0 they won. So, yeah, they played everybody in the country, and
absolutely, they're SEC team.
Yeah, I mean the team itself hits when you start to look at that type of OPS and slugging percentages. Not just the star; they hit right through 1 through 7. Their OPSs were above 1,000. I mean, the team is an amazing hitting team.
I'm pretty sure they could have achieved their success with like one hitter, maybe. Just look at how good their pitching did.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. They lost the first game of the Super Regions.
Right,
I'm obviously being facetious,
but 2 in a row.
One of their pitchers, 126 innings pitched, and an ERA of 0.77.
Yeah.
Their next pitcher 1.09, and their third pitcher 1.30 ERA. They had 4 pitchers all year that threw more than minimum requirement of 1 inning per game. So it's basically a 3-person roster that just dominated every single game.
Now, to Chad's point, if that happens for 3 consecutive years with Oklahoma, then I think you're starting to have a problem that they're getting all the elite talent in the country, which you normally used to go to Florida,
Arizona, UCLA,
Tennessee. Yeah, so
Tennessee.
Hats off, man. I mean, when you look at the accomplishments of Oklahoma and our local team and star pitcher, it's unbelievable.
Well, you had other in the men's. I went right from the Women's World Series to the Men's World Series, and you had some shockers like Notre Dame. I mean, you talk about Tennessee. Here's a team that had 50 wins. Chuck, they destroyed people this year, and they were a very arrogant team.
Right.
Bat flips. I mean, people loved them. But when I watched them, I mean, I couldn't believe how arrogant these guys were. And they kind of deserved to lose in the Super Regions, and they did. It wasn't a question of who was going to win the World Series 3 or 4 weeks ago, because Tennessee was that far ahead of everyone until you roll into the tournament and you get a team like Notre Dame who how does Notre Dame beat anyone? I mean, seriously.
That was just great to see him there.
Cold weather. Right, exactly.
I was looking for the band, the fight song.
Yes. They did have gold. And, Chuck, they do have gold batting helmets.
Yeah, I saw
they
the whole
have the
thing.
gold flake because it's so.
The bat flip that you talk about, I mean, everything now baseball-wise
Sick.
is a show.
Sickening.
The major league level, it's acceptable now. They're just having more fun and a demonstration of fun than ever before, and I don't know if I'd say that it's out of control, but they're allowed to express how much fun they're having. The dugouts are doing stuff they've never done before,
right?
With the hats and the chairs, and
they put fur coats on guys when you hit a home run.
Hey, you know what? If they're
look, it's all fun. I think it gets to a point where sometimes you see teams down like 5 runs, they hit a double, and they start doing that like bowl thing, like scooping up. Like dude, you're down 5 runs. Like get over yourself. Like you're losing the game. Who cares about your double?
Yeah.
And the problem is,
it's just where baseball's at.
I had a problem.
Yeah,
with
but
the
now
Phillies.
it goes to the little league. To the little
No, it goes directly to the league.
Correct.
Those role models are being.
You see that every
time.
fall. A team can be 3 or 4 touchdowns behind in the last quarter, and all of a sudden the defensive back makes a good hit and stands over him and gets It's like, look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly what the kids are doing at the lower level. They're heroes, man. I used to get that conversation all the time about, well, I don't have that responsibility as a role model. The hell you don't, man. Kids are emulating, watching, want to be like you. You set the standard, and you're seeing bat flips now in little leagues. It's crazy.
I know, and they stand at home
plate. If
plate.
there's one player, any baseball player growing up should model themselves after, it's Joey Votto. Right there in my mind. There's no better player to model yourself after in terms of how he performs on the field.
Yeah.
You never hear a bad thing about him.
No.
All he does is show up and just hit absolute line drives.
Not hitting the ball
all the
foul
time
for 4 years.
There's
some
insane,
crazy stat on Votto.
Yeah, there is.
Hit like 4 fouls.
It's like he didn't hit a foul ball to right field or left field, whatever line it was, for like 4 years in a row or something like that. It's just
baseball. Baseball has a couple good superstars that kids should model themselves after. But real quick, so we're getting a little late into the show. We're going to dive into the NBA draft before we get to our Phillies. So the Magic take. Let me wreck this name. Paolo Banchero at number 1. That sounds like something on a menu, doesn't it, Chuck?
I was shocked.
Yeah, I'll have the Paolo Banchero with extra cheese, please. And anywho.
He was shocked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to go to the Whiz Kid to give us some stats on Mr. Banchero.
That Duke pedigree,
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I mean, he's 19 years old. He had 17 points per game last year in college, which is pretty good for college standards.
Yeah, Duke moves the ball.
6'10", 250 pounds.
Big boy.
Number 1 pick now going to the Magic. I don't know much about him other than that, really. I mean, I don't follow college basketball too well, but I mean, he's a force at 6'10", 250. That's a really big guy.
And who did our Sixers take? Because our what is he? Manager is going to get in trouble for announcing this because you're not allowed to announce trades till after. Isn't that stupid?
It's so stupid. I personally love what the Sixers did. They traded the 23 pick and Danny Green, who's washed up, to the Grizzlies for the defensive stud D'Anthony Melton. Melton.
Yep. Better be defensive study. Ain't much offensive.
Well, no, see, he is. I don't think you're looking at it right.
Okay.
He's
What's
20.
the average?
He's 24 years old.
Yep.
He had 11 points per game last year in 22 minutes, though. In 22 minutes.
Oh, okay, sure.
Double that as 22 points a game.
You think it works that way?
Yeah. He's unbelievable at forcing turnovers. He averaged 2.5 steal percentage and a 1.1 block percentage, which are both in the 96th percentile or higher amongst combo guards. He grabbed 15.1% of available defensive rebounds, which is the best rate of any combo guard. And he shot 37% from 3 from last year and 41% the year before that.
While you have all those stats, now hit the button, the block that says playoffs.
Oh, you're so obsessed with playoffs. Oh, my God.
Where he shot 24%.
Oh, my God.
Okay? Hit that. Jim, can I get a symbol block on my son there? The win.
Oh, yeah.
Bam. Yeah.
If anyone
It's all about
if anyone
playoffs.
doesn't have him increase points in the playoffs, you call them a bust and
or neutral,
not good.
Or neutral. You got to get there and do it.
He's 23.
Okay, well, yeah, hey, listen.
I love these father and son fights. They're good for ratings.
Yeah.
Speaking of father and son, you know who didn't get drafted, unfortunately, is Shaquille O'Neal's son.
Oh, really?
He did not.
He was pushing for the Lakers.
Yeah, he wasn't expected to get drafted. He's signed by the Lakers in like their summer league now.
Oh, well, no kidding.
But yeah, he was not expected to get drafted. As it goes, Shaq wanted him to go back to school, and he said, "No, I'm not doing it, Dad. Like I have interest in teams." So he signed with the Lakers, but he has a big uphill battle at this point. I mean, what was Shaq drafted by the Magic, #1 overall in like '96, I think.
I believe so.
So now this is 25 years later or so, whatever it is, and he's trying to rebound here.
I know we see him now in the commercials and everything, but do you remember how dominant Shaq was at LSU and
every time I think of Shaq, I just think of him destroying the backboard on that one dunk.
But Chad, he was one of a million. He was so dominant.
I mean, more than that, his guy. There may never be a player like Shaq. Not like skill in terms of points, but just his body and ability.
And
he was so unique.
Mean. He was mean.
You heard the story from the Four Seasons in Philly when I was coming out, and he was getting off the Lakers bus, and the teammates all egged him on to try to sit in my little sport coupe. Okay, and we pushed the seat back and all that stuff, and he got his rear end on the seat.
He did?
Couldn't even spin his knees around. Couldn't start to. He was bigger than the car.
Right.
And I'm sitting there going, man, this guy is 360, and one of the players at 360. They may advertise that. Try like 420.
Oh my God.
Right. And what was he height wise?
7'1".
Oh, was it 7'1"? I was going to say 7'2".
So 7'1", 420. Athletic.
My God.
That was out for a force. Right?
How do you not put football past? I always said that.
Yeah.
How if they just stood there, and I think Jordan Mailata is an example. If you get these behemoths and put pads on them, how do you move them?
Yeah.
I mean, if they just sat there on the line, who would move Shaq?
I had tickets one night at a Sixers game when he was visiting, and under the basket, the support right there, and just watched him back in. And, there's no way. Sorry to interrupt you, Al. Just,
really.
Enjoy the paper.
I was enjoying the paper.
That's okay. Yeah, no, we did.
I'm trying to join in this conversation.
Right. It's open forum today. Can't hurt. Whatever you're doing can't hurt.
It's on video, too, which is great.
Yeah, which is great. Al's reading the paper. Yeah, you want your slippers and a crippy? Yeah.
Where's the coffee girl at? Jane, coffee?
That's hilarious. What's up with their Phillies?
Well, here we go, people, to speaking of mediocre.
Who can figure?
Well,
oh, man, I'll tell you. This team. Didn't they do it?
At least they won last night.
But didn't they get right over 500?
They did.
30. Didn't they get it right to the pinnacle of maybe buying in again?
Yeah.
And then bam.
I know.
And then they get
two or
swept
three
by the
games
Rangers.
over 500.
Rangers,
I know.
The lowly Rangers who aren't even at 500.
But Chuck, how do you can't continue? We kind of get spoiled because they had like a 10-game winning streak, and then this 14, 15 for 17, whatever the hell it was.
33-game stretch was the toughest in the last 10 years, and they played 2 over, and or over 500, I should say. And that was against everybody in baseball. You had the Braves, you had the Dodgers, you had San Diego, San Francisco.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a tough team in there every night, and they came out of that above 500. Very, very impressive, and then find a way to go backwards.
I know. It's they're 2.5 games back from the wild card,
which is nothing.
I don't see them making the play. I just can't see them, and it's a shame because hey, listen. Imagine if there was no DH in the National League this year.
Oh my God! Thank God there is. Bryce Harper wouldn't be playing.
I understand that. And I'm going to tell you something. And I heard people arguing, well, how much does Bryce mean to this team? Now I hate to say that one player makes a difference.
Oh, well, he does.
But God, when this guy don't play,
well, when that one player's MVP, every MVP talent. Which he's having the same year this year he had last year.
So can he win the MVP? I'm gonna just throw this at you. Can he win the MVP? Let's say he hits 330 with 40 bombs. Totally, can he win the MVP as a DH?
Yes.
Yeah.
You really think
I
that he
think
would
so.
go back-to-back as a DH?
I think
he
what
could.
will work against him, in my opinion, is the fact that he won it last year and the Phillies didn't,
Right.
win the division.
Right.
So in the regular season, did the MVP catapult you to number one? No, twice. I don't think that happens twice, but his numbers are there.
I'm going to tell you why he's amazing. Because on this show last year, okay, I think it was after 30, 40 games, we were saying that he is not a premier player like a Trout or a Machado or all these other guys. He is not. He's below a premier player. What's he do? He hurt us.
He hurt us.
And he goes and wins the MVP. And hey, guys, Schmidt won 4 MVPs. This guy wins an MVP this year. That's 3, and he's young.
Now, right
he's gonna win. He's gonna win
right now, the
Through
definite.
April last year, there is reason to make that argument.
Of course.
And we weren't saying he wasn't a very good player. That's crazy.
We said he was not a premier elite
and
MVP.
He wasn't. And he wasn't. He had to step up if he wanted to be elite, and he sure has, man.
Right now, if there was an MVP vote today, there's no doubt it would go to Paul Goldschmidt. He's leading the NL in batting average, on base, slugging, OPS plus, total bases, and hits.
It's a monster.
He's hitting
year.
340.
Yeah, but his name's Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
Who makes a guy? Who you don't win it.
And no, he's never won an MVP, despite how
set
good he
those
is.
stats
He's
aside.
never won an MVP. He's come in second twice.
Let me ask you this, and I know it's 30 years down the
When
road.
not to interrupt you, but when you take Harper out of the Phillies lineup,
Yes.
it just completely sags.
Yeah, they fizzle.
That one player, all boats rise when an incoming tide. You got to have Harper in the Phillies lineup.
Let me write that down. Hold on.
all
All
boats
boats rise.
on an
in
incoming
Now,
tide.
finally,
Tide.
on
Sounds completely
WIP
fit.
today, Angelo was saying, why the heck is Schwarber batting leadoff?
Yeah.
He said it like 6 times. I heard it this morning driving in. I mean, Schwarber's hitting so many home runs, and he's just sitting there driving himself in half the time.
I know. It's
Castellanos
insane.
almost has the same amount of RBIs, and he has half the home runs.
If your league leader in home runs is going to be the leadoff hitter,
Isn't that
and it's
crazy?
going to be 47 home runs, you're going to have a lot of questions as to why he batted leadoff. And I know his on-base percentage is up to about 340 right now, right, Schwarber? But still, you got it. But the argument is always they don't have anybody else you can bat leadoff. And I think that is a fair counter to that point. I really do. I mean, who are you going to bat leadoff, Al?
After Segura went down, nobody.
Yeah, I mean, you say JT or Reese, but it's not them at all.
No.
Um,
How do you not
he
have
does
a
have a great
fast
eye.
center fielder that leads off?
Because we've been stuck with Roman Quinn and Odubel for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Why
Well,
are we still
this-
working with those guys?
This came up on the radio last night. I'd like to get everybody's opinion, Jimmy, you included. You put the headset back on, Jimmy. Come on. So I call Eskin in because Eskin starts the show off last night with Joe Giglio. We're coming home from New York. We turn the radio on about exit 8. Just pick him up. And I said to Mar, I said, he's going to bust on me because the Phillies lost to the Rangers. So I said, as soon as Eskin's turned it on, and I hope Chuck from Cherry Hill, who said last week, and he starts reminding me what I said last week and all that. And then, so I call in, we had fun with it back and forth. And he was adamant about the fact of all the Phillies teams throw the Flyers out. What's the next champion, world champ from Philly? Al, who's your next world champ from Philadelphia?
I'm going to go with the Eagles.
That was Eskin. Chad?
I actually heard you on WPS started talking about this.
Thanks for the text. Say, nice job, Doc.
I was walking out of the doctor, so I heard like the back end. I heard Eskin go hard on it.
Yeah.
I would say the Sixers.
He said it like Sixers. Like he's so.
Better your nickel.
We did this the last time. I picked the Flyers because nobody else did.
Here's why.
Yeah, I think I'm doing it again.
Here's why I said the Phillies.
I'll say the Flyers.
You have to assume that they're going to make some moves in July. Let's assume they may not be as good as Atlanta's moves last year, which were absolutely the best GM ship I've ever seen, except for Cashman Yankees a couple of years. Let's assume they pull off some really good deals. Then the team becomes that much better right away. And I'm obviously assuming Harper is back in the lineup, and if not right field, he's in there as DH. They have enough pitching in postseason to win the first round or the best of 5. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Now, right now, the team is 4th in run production. I know it's not balanced. It's not a team that's going to score 5.2 runs per game evenly. They score 11, they score 8, and they go 0-1, 0-3. But that's kind of analogous to baseball. I'll still take the fact that they're 4th or 5th in run production right now. The defense, as I said last night on the radio, stinks. And we all agree that there's no other way. Yeah. And yet the Giants, the San Francisco Giants, is worse defensively. For those reasons, for the pitching that they have and the run production, 2/3 of what you need. I didn't mention bullpen, but they got a couple guys doing okay. Sir Anthony, right? Yeah. So, yeah.
Should
now,
be your closer.
Why don't I got cut off at the end, but why don't I take the Eagles? Because I don't think you can ride with a quarterback that's not established or proven yet to take you to win the Super Bowl. So I just can't project Hurts, ostensibly a 2-year guy, to win a Super Bowl, even notwithstanding all the skill talent that they've picked up. It's just too soon. Don't make a mockery out of this. What's your real?
No, I mean,
say the Flyers.
Chuck, this guy's been a winner his whole life.
You're not going to use our
you.
podcast time to say the Flyers.
No. Who's going to win? The Eagles. I said the Eagles.
You said the Flyers, I thought.
I said the Flyers because nobody else picked the Flyers.
Your actual answer is the Eagles.
Yes, but Chuck asked me how could they win with a 2-year. You just said.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I say because the guy's a winner. And I really think that the guys won at every level. I know he got sad at Alabama, but that was just,
Yeah.
It was,
And there's no doubt that the division, you can see the Eagles atop that division.
Yes.
And you know the Phillies are going to be looking for a wild card at best. Yeah.
Exactly. But how does the Giants, how do these teams not get better? It's like we go out and do everything we need to do, and all these teams it's amazing. Even Washington with that defense.
Yeah.
I mean, they got this defense, and they just I don't understand it.
Because it all starts at the top, and when you don't have the right type of C-suite structure and decision making at the top, and investments and stuff like that in assets. It doesn't work. So it starts at the top. You look at these teams. You know what, though? But to contradict that, there are teams that have good senior level management, guys that are respected around the league, and still don't win. You got to get lucky, too, with draft picks. But why are some teams consistently great? Look at the Yankees. Look what they're doing this year. Payroll, always at the top of the salary structure, but Cashman's also done an amazing job. Boy, what an unbelievable job he's done this year. They don't look like they can lose a game right now.
I know
that win last night over the Astros.
Yeah,
man, they trailed.
I'm going to change my answer to the Eagles. I know
there you go.
Eagles are going to be the next team to win the Super Bowl. I looked at the playoff bracket and realized if they come in first in the division, they only got to win like 2 games.
Yeah.
If they're at the top, not like a top of the NFC.
It's an easier path. Baseball, you have to play multiple games, multiple wins, stuff like that.
So, as we are, we got about 10 minutes left. We got to hit a couple more things, and we gotta talk about those Flyers, baby.
Okay, that's that. What do we got?
That's
next?
it. That's enough with the Flyers as we move on. No, Jim, we have a new coach discussion. What's going on with the Flyers? I present our producer, the very talented Big Jim.
30 seconds, Jim.
I don't know, Al. What do you think of the coaching hire?
Well, it's a good old boy. He just keep revolving around, but he made a statement which is unbelievable that back in 2004 when he was in Philadelphia, he said to his wife, I want to run that club someday. But Tortorella,
full of shit, but
I'll tell you one of the highlights of the Flyers thing might be press conferences with Eskin and Tortorella.
Everyone's looking forward to that.
That should be
Tortorella
epic.
said the old, I've been shoveling shit all summer. I'm like, well, wait till September, pal. You'll be shoveling a lot more. That's all I got.
That's all we got on the Flyers?
Yeah. Well, he certainly doesn't improve the talent level on the team, right? They may try hard and all that.
I got fans out here talking about the Lions. Come on, the Lions. Oh, God. That's got to suck to live in Detroit, huh?
At Cleveland, everybody thought they were top a
Yeah,
couple years with
yeah.
what they did. Stefanski's a good guy.
Cleveland was so good on paper like
they
3 years
were.
ago.
They couldn't lose.
They were.
And Baker was just so bad after that.
Yeah, you had the
So-
two receivers. You had the
So
Chubb, right?
there's still time for these Detroit fans to jump on the bandwagon like our whiz kid did. And,
Go Eagles.
Yeah, that's right. As the
How can
Eagles.
they be that bad every year, Detroit? I mean, man, dear, it's got to be, But
I don't understand it. I guess they're happy just making the money.
Can we talk about these Yankees? Can we?
Yes, let's go to the real team in the area.
Give
That's
us,
my
the
second
Yankees
favorite team
are
is the Yankees.
the fewest games to reach 50 wins in the last 100 years. Here's
There
the
you
order.
go.
Wow.
Number
Say
one,
that
the
again.
2001 Mariners. It took them 64 games to reach 50 wins. Number 4 on this list are the 2022 Yankees. It took them 67 games to reach 50 wins. Now, this is funny. 4 of the top 8 teams on that list are Yankees.
Yeah. Oh man, they do everything. They hit, they pitch. They're playing defense. They made the 2 changes. They realized they couldn't win with the shortstop and the catcher situation last year, and they brought in guys that are known for their defense, and that's helped them tremendously on defense. But of course, Rizzo with the. You just look at the guys with the power, Stanton and Judge. And Judge, is he the best player in baseball right now?
Right now.
A lot of
Yeah.
people are saying
Boy,
that
he banked.
is.
I'll tell you what, not signing that extension
Oh,
boy,
man.
has paid off.
What a bet on
Will
himself
he
he
be the
made.
first $50 million player
Per year?
What's
Yeah.
a guy like
Yeah.
that? What
I
do
don't
you
know.
give
Yeah,
a
of
guy
course.
like that?
I think
and
I think
do the
we'll-
Yankees keep him?
Yeah, that's today, by the way, and I don't think he's looking for that. I think he's looking for something. I think he's looking for $38 million.
Real.
Why would he wait though? Why wouldn't he couldn't he have gotten that last season? What was his offer then?
He took a shot.
They
Yeah.
offered him.
I
He was offered in the upper 30s.
They made a fair offer.
So I think this
Yeah,
is
no,
maybe,
it was a. He took a real big gamble.
He bet on himself.
Absolutely.
And now he's putting up stats.
Of course.
They're going to justify the numbers
But
that
Chuck,
he wants. But he'll probably
Chuck,
still go to free agent.
If this guy, let's just say this guy, didn't put up those numbers. I mean,
Yeah.
he did take.
No,
a
he
gamble.
bet on himself. No
Say
doubt
he
about
got
it.
it. He injured his foot, his arm, anything.
there was risk.
and had average.
So-
Schwarber. He pulled a Schwarber.
so in that
we
case-
can say he pulled a Schwarber.
So in that case, he only signs for $31 million a year.
I
Looks
know.
like,
he's right.
you
He's
know?
definitely. 30.
I don't know. It says Judge asked for 21 million. Yankees counter with 17. The midpoint's 19.
Yeah, but
Isn't
he.
that ridiculous?
And arbitrations today.
Yeah, arbitration. He's
I mean, what
gonna
are the
get-
Yankees waiting for? This guy's worth 40 million a year.
Yeah, absolutely. So if arbitration is today, what's he go in at? He can't go just in it. What do you want? 21. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously he's
No
worth
way.
That meeting should last 30 seconds.
Yeah,
They should-
I say
in
comes
the
out 20,
hallway, they should end that.
25 million. I say he comes out with.
And is that just for this year?
Yes. He could go to arbitration for the next how many years?
Right.
I mean, he should be getting 30 million easy.
Yeah, now.
But he
they
doesn't-
got to go by.
doesn't have the
they go
leverage,
by
I guess,
last
right
year's-
now.
They go by last year's stats, though, right? I believe so.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's a monster this
Yeah.
year. So maybe they do come in and offer him 30 million a year just
Yeah.
to avoid all this.
And what happens if they can't agree to arbitration? The player can't play from the
No,
deadline?
you have
or-
to play.
becomes-
You have to play for what arbitration gives
Yeah.
you.
Right, but like with the deadline being today in the middle of the
He's a
season, which it
free
normally
agent.
isn't,
He-
what would happen?
Yeah, they rule on it in arbitration, and he gets the number, and then he's a free agent.
Yeah.
I'm saying, what if they can't agree?
They do agree. There's a ruling on the number, I believe, right?
But yes, you have to play. If arbitration comes out at 25 million, that's what you have to play for. That's your salary.
Okay, so it's not like disagreement. Like they have an arbitrator that just settles it. And
Yeah,
says, this is the
exactly.
number.
But
Exactly.
the
But
arbitration
the problem
could
is-
side with the Yankees.
Right,
Say
right,
the Yankees
okay.
want to give him 17.
The
He gets
problem
17.
is it's a negative process for the
Yeah.
for the elite player. He's got to sit there and hear the stats that go against his market value.
Correct.
And you want to do that to Judge right now.
That's
You have a
what
record
sucks. So
year,
the
Come
Yankees,
on.
you know,
it's
pay
like
him
what-
the extra $4
You know,
million.
Listen,
shame on the Yankees
what
for not
we did-
settling this earlier. And
That's
just
what-
making
that's
this
what
go
every-
away.
We were
It's
in New
what
York.
we
Shame
did-
on them.
We did this to Real Muto.
We were in New York
for 2 or
yesterday,
3 years.
and we're talking to Yankee fans that had the construction workers, and I would stop the car out. This was great, and I would say, "What's up with Judge?" Judge, and these guys are moving steel around on a construction project, big crane overhead. It was so New York moment, with the hard hat and the Yankee thing. Oh, I can't believe what they're doing to Judge. I can't do a Yankee accent. Anybody do a Yankee accent?
Yeah, I can't believe what they're doing to Judge.
There you go.
Jerk off.
Yeah,
Do it.
How you doing?
But
How you doing there, Judge?
New York and the energy of New York.
I saw him walking down the street the other
You should
day.
see these guys. all the construction guys are naturally in shape.
Oh,
and they're all
yeah.
good looking. They all got the $1 million.
And they're all
tan.
named Tony.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
Tony,
Tony.
you ready, Tony? I'll be there a little. Hey, Tony, I'll see you later, Tony. To New York.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah. How you doing? The two Utes over there. The two Utes.
We could do this podcast.
Yes, we could.
But all right, so the Astros are in there, sold out Yankee Stadium. You still got the whole cheating thing going on back and forth.
Yes.
And then the Yankees come back with a 3-run bomb to tie it up, and they walk off. Man, that series is just absolutely thrilling. So we'll watch that this weekend. But I like Houston today. Don't ask me why. I like Houston today. We'll see what happens.
Just magical that Judge gets a walk-off hit the day
it
before
is.
his arbitration
I know,
meeting.
right?
All right, so
All right, real quick,
we're looking at 5 and Ohtani once again.
Yeah, Ohtani's a stud. Wiz, tell us about this prospect from Pittsburgh.
The Pittsburgh Pirates have some pretty exciting prospects. O'Neal Cruz is the one I want to focus on.
Wow, 6'7".
He's 23 years old, 6'7", 23, and he throws 100 miles per hour from
Guys.
shortstop.
Viewers, fans.
How do you like to catch that at first base?
You got to tell your tell your dad, your grandpops, whoever it is, to check out this guy, O'Neal Cruz. Just, go on and download and look at his throws from shortstop. It's different to see a shortstop throw a ball 100 miles an hour across the diamond. The guy for the Cubs, Dunston.
Sean Dunston.
Was like 98.
Yeah.
And I used to watch the ball when he'd come in with one hand. And I'd be like, I couldn't see that. And
I
you
know.
replay it. This guy at 6'7" over the top is just unbelievable to watch.
How'd they not put him on the mound, though? 6'7",
Ooh.
100. Come on.
I'm sure they did somewhere,
look at
maybe
this.
too
Look at this.
Yeah, watch this guy.
I had the
watch
video up,
this
the YouTube
throw,
video. Look
people.
at this throw.
Check this out. Look at
Oh, God.
Right, show that one more time.
That's
here.
what 100 looks
Put
like.
that one more
Hold on,
time,
let's
these
see it,
people.
People.
Look at that
First
throw.
base is-
Just watch this.
It's a-
Whoop.
First baseman treats it like candy.
It looked like a line. It looked like a
it did.
straight line.
It looked like a
So-
laser beam that you see in like a
It
video
did.
game.
It looked like a white laser beam.
It's always fun in
Um,
baseball to pick out things you don't see a lot.
Absolutely.
Catcher's arms. Johnny Callis used to throw from the actual warning track. With my dad and I would watch the pregame when he hit the fungos in the old days, and his one-hop throws to home plate that you get you talk about on a line. It's just great to watch these great
So-
arms in baseball.
As we're winding down,
Rant time.
I think we are going to our rants, and we're going to go right in order. We're going to start with Coach Al.
Well, I don't know how big a rant this is. I was talking with Jim before we started. I'm watching the Stanley Cup, and really the two best teams, the Avalanche and the Lightning.
Yep.
And it went to overtime, and they scored, and all of a sudden they realize a few minutes after that, and it's not reviewable, that the Avalanche had 6 players on
Ooh.
a set of 5.
Heard about this,
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
Yep.
And it's not, and you've got 4 officials. Now,
That's
I know
amazing.
Jim was telling me, we were talking earlier, it happens once in a while, but it wasn't like the gate was halfway open, you're getting
Right.
off. You could see the lane
Clearly.
clearly all 6 bodies there.
Yep.
And you're talking about all of a sudden now that's a penalty. You
Yeah.
nullify the goal,
Yeah.
and Tampa has a 2-minute advantage.
And we're still playing. You're
big-
right.
big deal.
It is a big deal.
Their
That's
coach,
right.
their coach got interviewed, and he said, and he's really a sharp guy. He said, "I'm not going to touch it. I'll talk to you tomorrow."
Yeah. Yeah.
That-
They got to do a
hit the
better
tongue.
job, especially with four
But I mean, for
four
something
referees.
that big,
yeah,
with
I know.
4 officials,
Can't
and-
be missed.
And I'm from the old school, like you guys are. Get it right, no matter what you have to do.
Get
Get
it
the
right.
play right, no matter what sport it is.
Damn straight. Good job.
Look,
Right
the Whiz Kid.
I am going to rant about the MLB umpires. A couple days ago, there was one of the most bizarre ejections I've ever seen in the Blue Jays versus the White Sox. The day before, the umpire, Doug Eddings, missed a season-high 29 calls.
Wow.
29 calls in one game. Multiple strikeouts missed. The next day, the Blue Jays White Sox meet for in the pregame when the umpires all gather and stuff, and the umpire and one of the coaches says something, and the umpire ejects him in the pregame. In the pregame, he ejects him. Ejected him.
That's why they sent the coach out. That had to happen.
That's awesome.
The batting coach, I think he said that.
It's just the umpires.
They knew it was happening. It was staged.
The umpires have gotten to the point though where they are so sensitive. They are so bad.
Yes.
You got guys like Angel Hernandez who thinks it's funny to be bad at his job, and I don't know. I mean, something has to change. There will be a change eventually. I don't know if I'm for it or against it, but I'm not for the umpires acting like this. It's awful.
Yeah.
All right, we go to the Godfather.
Well, I'm just going to respond to that before I start my rant. And the reason you're seeing this, the umpires didn't suddenly get worse or less school or less prepping the minors. It's none of that. The Major League pitching is so phenomenal now with spin rates, and Lord knows what they're still using. If they're checking their hands, that's because they're checking. People are still getting it in. The bottom line is the pitching is so incredible. That's your strikeout rate. We got guys throwing 100, and the action on the ball. I believe the umpires are having a hard time seeing it. I really do. When you're over the wrong shoulder and you got something on the black when the outside drops 12-6, I don't think they're getting a look at it. I don't think they can see 100. I really don't.
Then let's bring in the robots.
We faced Billy Wagner in college when he was at Ferrum, and I think the guns were only 95. I don't know how you can see. It almost looks like it leaves his hand and the catcher just puts his mitt up.
That's the truth. Well, here's my rant. This is going to be a different rant for sure. So I'm going to give it up. Full transparency here.
Do it.
This is a very good team. I mean, our podcast team is terrific. Everybody brings a different background, skill set, and pedigree to the table. And we're in a ratings situation where we're flat, and we're trying to understand why. And we need your input. If you don't like the content on this podcast, this show, we'd love to hear from you. We're dead serious, and if you want dinner, I'll take you to dinner. If you don't want to have dinner with me, I'll buy you dinner, whatever. But we really want to hear from you about what you'd like to see, because we work hard at making it a success. We think the content, obviously, is good, entertaining, and certainly has a lot of variety to it. But we'd love to hear from you. So once again, I'm going to put it out there. My rant, 609-828-5569. That's my cell number. I'm up at 6. I go to bed at 1. Call me, text me anytime. I want to be your buddy, your friend. I want to hear from you. I want your feedback. And maybe together, collectively as a team, we can get the ratings we're looking for. We realize we don't have a celebrity. We don't think we need one per se, although we do have a very exciting lineup of celebrities starting in a couple weeks. That we'll see what that does. It's probably going to help. But without that, we still think we can be better. 250 people attended my daughter's wedding. That's about our ratings. I think just the 250 people at the wedding download the show. Go ahead, Bubba.
All right. I'm going to continue on what Chuck said, but I want to start with tonight. After all of the regional action and the super regions and all the great baseball, I saw the College World Series starts their 3-game championship on Monday. I'm telling you, people, the last month watching girls softball Division I, the World Series and the regions and the super regions, and right into the college baseball is the best sports you could ever see. I mean, right now, the weather's changing, and you got the best college softball players and the best college baseball players. Nothing beats it. You should really check it out.
Although softball's done, but baseball.
No, right. Yeah. The World Series in baseball. And then finally, I'm going to continue what Chuck said. Where are all the viewers at? I mean, seriously, we put a lot of money into this show, or Chuck puts a lot of money into the show. We get great content. The guys work their asses off. I just get to come in and read off some sheets, and I got to tell you, where are the viewers? We're stuck at like 800 or 900, and we want to get over 1,000. So call in. Call Chuck's cell, prank him, late at night like I do.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want, but give us some feedback. What's the issue with the show? What do we have to do? Do you want to see more celebrities or Phillies on, or whatever the hell you want
All
to see?
baseball, talk, whatever.
Whatever
Yeah.
you want to do.
Yeah.
Do you want just the Phillies? I ain't doing the Flyers, but, just the Sixers,
45
Eagles.
minutes.
What do you want? Tell us.
Right.
Because this show is too good to be under 1,000 viewers, and that's just the way it is. And then from 1,000, we're going to take off from there. So get back to us. We love you. I'm going to Facebook Live. I'm going to check out.
Yep.
To
To my buddy Mark. Big day for Mark, our loyal viewer. Mark, good luck today. His wife's delivering a baby.
Beautiful.
And he's a loyal listener, and he gives us great feedback. So
congratulations,
good luck, my man. Yep.
Mark. There's Big Jim, the producer, sleeping. And we're going to get back to you next week. So give us a like and
Adios.
share. And where do they see us at?
You can get us at speakingofsportspod.com, people. That's it. Or Twitter, Speaking
And
of
we're
Sports
giving
Podcast.
away some great gifts coming up, so stay tuned if you're listening.
Yeah.
All right, jerseys, money,
We're gonna
dinners,
give away Ray's car.
sexual favors, whatever you want. Give us a like. All right, people, I'll see you later. We love you.